Yes, you did. So why'd you stop?
Yeah, I did.
Huh?
I just did, baby.
All right, well, hello, my loves. Hello, my loves. Hello, my loves. And welcome to Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. What?
Baby,
Yes.
I was just enjoying the pleasantries that you give the people.
But I like that. Like when you chuckle like that,
Yeah.
that makes me think of Gene.
All right.
Like that's the little boy in 10th grade. Like we get ready to get into something.
We getting into something.
How you doing today, my
Super
baby?
fantastic.
You super fantastic. Hey out there to everybody, what's going on? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. Today, we're gonna talk about it.
What we gonna talk about?
I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna talk about, Daddy. Are you genuinely happy for other people's successes?
Are you?
Are you genuinely happy when somebody gets it and makes it and is successful? Like, do you say, go ahead and get it? Or are you the person that says, man, that's some bullshit. It was supposed to be me.
Now you must tell the good people out there how we got on this conversation.
I must do it.
You must.
Okay, so I have, well, let me give them the backstory, okay?
Do it.
For so long, I had a flip phone, right? And I adored my flip phone, baby. And they teased me. They said it was outdated, out century, all this shit about my flip phone.
Not I.
Not you, Daddy,
Mm-mm.
because you had an old phone too.
Yes.
Okay, we both had
Two old phones.
two old phones, right? And I enjoyed my flip phone until my flip phone started picking up calls when I wasn't flipping it.
Right.
Okay, it started doing its own thing. So the kids said, y'all need to get iPhones, right? iPhones. So we get these damn iPhones. Now, the way that my iPhone is set up, every time someone sends an Instagram message or a tweet, it lights up, right?
Right.
So yesterday, I'm sitting down, and I think I was reading, and my phone just kept lighting up and lighting up and lighting up. I'm like, well, what the hell? What the hell is going on?
Something's going on.
Something's going on. So when I pick up my phone and I hit view on one of the Instagram messages that come in, it says, Tiffany Haddish gets stand-up deal with Netflix. And I was like, good shit. Well, then I start reading the comments under it.
What did they say?
The comments said, I know Mo mad as hell. Oh, I know Mo salty. Oh, I know Mo ain't gonna have nothing to say. I gotta laugh. Nothing to say to her. And I'm like, wait a minute, babies.
Just wait.
Please, just wait a second. Do y'all know how happy this woman is right here for that woman named Tiffany Haddish? And everything that sister gets, I want her to get because she didn't put the work in. So please understand, what I won't allow is for it to appear as if I have an issue with Tiffany Haddish because she signed a comedy deal, a stand-up deal with Netflix. And the one thing that we have to understand, Monique's journey is Monique's journey. And Tiffany's journey is Tiffany's journey. However, Monique and Tiffany, we still fighting the same fight. We're still wanting equality for the next babies coming. So for my sister, I say, baby, keep getting it.
Keep getting it.
Keep getting it.
You deserve it because they're not going to give it to you if you don't.
Come on.
And when people are happy with what it is that they get, that may mean that there's progress.
Come on.
So if the trick is to not be happy for your brothers and for your sisters when they have, because that's how we stay at one another, and as opposed to learning how to work together. Because there was a time when one person's success felt like everybody's success. When you hear the old stories about Joe Louis coming through, it felt like everybody won when that man won.
Yes.
So the downside is we feel like if one of us does something wrong, we all look bad. But the reality is, if we look at things from a positive standpoint, we are all winning when Tiffany's winning.
Come on now. All right, we going to the lines, my babies. Okay, well, you know what, Daddy? I didn't get to them quick enough.
That's all right.
Can we genuinely be happy for others' success? And you know what? When I put the question out there earlier today to let them know that's what we were going to be talking about, someone answered honestly. And they said, Mo, I can't, when it seems like nothing's going right for me in the world.
Right.
And I thought that was just so honest and real. And then to have that conversation and say, when you can't be happy for someone, when you think that everything is going wrong for you in the world, you're going to be unable to be happy for yourself when you think everything's going right for you in the world. So to not applaud our successes, and they're ours, to not applaud it speaks volumes about who we are as individuals and our character.
And it also speaks to the conditioning that's been imposed upon us that we've got to learn how to see above, which is it's been designed for us to be at one another's throat for scraps, as opposed to thinking, how can we work together in the big picture? Because what is it that we're trying to attain?
Come on.
You know, and when we start chasing billions, millions, as opposed to what it is that we need, because at the end of the day, you don't think so. And it's okay if individuals decide not to have families and so forth. It's a personal decision. But you got to have somebody in your life.
Come on.
You know, unless you just like being a hermit, that supersedes money. Because you and your money, it has no pulse. So you got plenty of it. And again, that's where our focus is. We got to eat. We got to make a living. Somebody say, do you have a saving? At the end of the day, do you have people that when things are going well, they're there? But most importantly, when it seems like they're not going well, they're there. And if you have one person, just one, you're extremely lucky.
You know, someone just put, sometimes it seems like everyone else has all the good luck but them. And then you ask yourself, what is that good luck? Like, what is that good luck that you think that they have? And oftentimes when I've come across people and you think they have it all, let's go to the lines. I'm going to hold on to that.
Do it.
Hey, this is Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. Who's this and where you're calling from?
This is your surrogate mama.
Hey, baby.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Sid and my baby Monique?
We good, mama.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Talk to us, baby.
You know what, baby? I'm happy for everybody.
Come on.
Everybody. Because time is too short to be walking around here with your jaws locked over some trivial shit.
Come on.
Listen, something touched your heart because you hit that shit hard.
Nobody got time for that. I mean, because when you put all that negative energy out into the atmosphere, that's going to flow back into your space and your realm. So it pays for everybody to be happy for everybody. There's enough to go around, sugar.
There's enough to go around. We love you, honey.
I love y'all too with all my heart. Y'all have a wonderful day, baby.
Yes, ma'am. Did we hear that?
Come on now.
There's enough to go around.
From our wiser portion of the community that's done seen a few things. When you hear from that portion of the community, it's like back in the day in Africa, they was the ones telling the stories. Because they had lived those stories that they telling.
Yes.
It's like, pay attention.
See, I understand why it automatically becomes a competition. Because we've been made to believe that way. We've been trained that it's got to be this competition. And we've been trained it can only be one of us at a time. So that's why we start feeling like, oh my God, who's better, Nicki Minaj or Cardi B? Both of them bitches is geniuses.
Come on.
Both of them bitches is bad. Listen, they need to put my name in it, but we ain't going to talk about it.
Yeah, because you got to keep rhyming.
You got, baby, but I do.
Not just rapping.
No, sure.
We like to rap, but we don't be rhyming all the time correctly.
Right, Daddy, I rhyme.
And makes them up.
And my choruses, too.
They don't make sense.
So, anyway, back to what I'm saying, baby. Right, don't come in on, you know what I mean?
No. Now you're talking to me like half a hoe now. No, that's okay.
No,
then you're going to talk to me like half a hoe.
Like half a hoe.
Not a quarter. Not a whole, but half a hoe.
No, baby. But, okay, so, like, when I read articles And I read little things, and it's like, who's the best? Both of them. But we've been so, because nobody says who's better, Taylor Swift or what's another little white girl name? Taylor Swift or Jessica Simpson.
Come on.
Don't nobody say who's better. They just say that's Taylor Swift, that's Jessica Simpson. But for some reason, when it comes to us, who's better, Nicki or Cardi B? Both.
Never who's better, Larry Bird or Jerry West. But they want you to say who was the greatest. Was it Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And if we just say they were the greatest of their time,
yes,
that'll be fine, but they were one of the greats. Because when they only leave you with one, they still have an army of theirs telling you about how great they are.
Come on.
Because we fighting for the one spot.
Right.
Not for the collective group.
So that's when we see us as black female comedians. Do you know how many funny black female comedians there are? There are a number of us. Unfortunately, the way that this program is set up, the program called Hollywood, the way that the program is set up is we can only let one of you in at a time. So when we let one in, we'll say, oh, this one took that one's place. Oh, this one is funnier. Instead of, wait a minute, guys, Phyllis Diller and Lucille Ball were around at the same time. And no one compared. They were just genius women. Rosie O'Donnell, Roseanne Barr, Ellen DeGeneres. No one compares those women. They're just funny female comedians. But when it comes to us, it seems that there can just be one of us at a time. I remember some years ago, a sister named Prentice, beautiful sister. I used to work with her at MCI. And she said she had ran into Thea Vidal. This was years ago. I'm going to say maybe when I first got to Parker's, right? And she said that she had saw Thea at the airport, and Thea had nothing but beautiful things to say. But she said something that she said stuck with her. And she said, it's just Monique's turn right now. And Princess said, you know, it made me think, like, what does that mean? She said, but then when she thought about it, it was like, well, where was Thea Vidal? Like, it was Thea Vidal's turn. It was Marsha Warfield's turn. It was Shirley. See, we all get our turn the way that it's set up now. But we don't have to keep buying into that. That's why what y'all will never, ever, ever get from me is something that's not uplifting about any of my sisters. Because when one get it, we all get it. We keep pushing forward. But we got to stop buying into it could just be one. Because that's when we buy those tickets and we start comparing us. Well, who's funnier? Listen, every goddamn body.
And you had to be funny as a black woman to get to be known by your name and by your image. So you had to be funny because they're not going to just give it to you. Come
on. Are you genuinely happy for other people's successes? Like, are you genuinely happy? And I'm gonna put it down to just layman's, right? And not take it out of Hollywood. Are you genuinely happy when you go to somebody's house for dinner and they cook the shit out of that food? And everybody's talking about the food they cooked. And you cooked food too, but, you know, they didn't talk as kindly about your food that they talking about her food. Are you that person that say it was all right? Or do you say, listen, girl, you cooked the shit out of that? How'd you do that? How'd you do that?
How you do it?
Because I can have soft feelings too. Somebody said, well, you know what, when they cooked it, it was really good. Well, you don't like it the way I cooked the shit?
Right. Terrence Thomas said, yeah, I do, but I wish it was me sometime. LOL. He said, I wish it was me sometime I was getting that praise.
Are you genuinely, but see, here's the thing too. Are you genuinely happy for other people's successes? And if not, you have to ask yourself, really, why not? Like, why am I not celebrating in their joy? What's stopping me from celebrating in their moments or
The thing that it would appear that's stopping anyone from enjoying someone else's moment is they're thinking about themselves personally and not thinking about the experience that they're having that's enjoyable, that's making it enjoyable for them. Because that's the reason why when people see you perform as an actress, though you say, I'm not an actress, you don't, Monique can go to fantasy quick on you now. And if you put her and you say be in Paris, I'm telling you, she gonna be able to smell the hues coming from the Eiffel Tower. She gonna be there.
Oh, Daddy, I love it.
Hey, so you know what I'm saying.
You know what, though, baby? I believe, and this is off subject, but fuck it. I believe I was one of those old women back in the village. That was the big woman that
Yeah.
sat under the tree
Yes.
and said, I got a story to tell y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
I believe it.
And I told the kind of stories that there was some bitches in the village that had a problem with what I said. You know, they wanted to throw me out the village, outcast me. But you had some real villagers that said, no, that's the shit we like to hear. We know Big Lula gonna put some spice on it.
And when it came down to it, if somebody from the outside came in, all bets was off. I know I was mad at you, but I ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to you.
Oh, look at this. If I feel jealous of someone, I remove myself from the person I'm jealous at. How honest is that?
It's very honest.
Like, how honest is that? But then you have to ask yourself, what is it that's making me jealous? And am I willing to have a conversation with the person? Or am I just willing to walk away in my jealousy?
Sometimes it's best, because it's no one answer, but it would seem sometimes it's best that you may need to walk away because you need to understand what it is that you're feeling to hopefully get to a point to say, I can't justify acting this way. And if I can't justify it, I can't continue to act this way, because if something's going well for me, I want somebody to be happy for me. So the converse is true. If something's going well for somebody else, how can I not be happy? Like, how can I not be happy for them?
I'm sorry, baby. I'm turning up the volume. The volume is low. But I don't know where it is to turn it up. I'm sorry, sugars. We're just trying to turn the volume up. Oh, yeah, it was. Got it. Oh, thank you, sweetness.
Thank y'all.
And if y'all are just joining us, we're talking about, are you genuinely happy for other people's successes? Like, you know, I remember when I first got an opportunity to meet Kevin Hart. Mm-hmm. And we were doing Soul Plane. And I saw this little guy running around that set, baby, with so much joy. I mean, he was just full of excitement and full of life and just, it was refreshing to see. Mm-hmm. And it's refreshing to see that when I see Kevin Hart, I still see that guy on Soul Plane that was still excited and still running around. And so whenever I see him, I'm like, baby, go get it. Like, baby, go get it. You know, I read something on Regina King, and she just got a new show. Now, that sister been out there since 227. You applaud. Congratulations. Like, you look at us and you say, go get it, y'all. Like, how could we not applaud for us? Like, how could you not applaud for the sister that you know has been out there putting it in, was a single mom, 3 kids, and then she got her own house? How could you? Because you know what that shit, you know how hard it is when it's 2 working people. So it's like, it's a feeling almost that we're getting to a place of, if it's not me, fuck it. You know?
I say fuck it.
If it's not me, oh well.
Oh well.
But when you look at that person, remember when we used to play that game, That's My Car?
Mm-hmm.
You never played that game? Oh, baby. I used to play that game so much till I was a grown ass woman. And I saw LaVan Hawkins driving down goddamn North Avenue. And I pointed and said, that's my car.
Bam.
He had that big body Benz. But it was just like, I'm happy to see, like, that. You got that big body Benz, sir? One day. So when it was my turn, I remember seeing LaVan Hawkins driving down North Avenue in a big body Benz. That was a black man in that big body Benz. I didn't know nobody that had no goddamn big body Benz. I really didn't know him. He brought checkers to the area.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But I saw it. So in my celebration of, in my mind, wow, that's my car. He doesn't understand the impact it had on me to see that big body Benz rolling down North Avenue. So if you can't be happy for others in their moments of happiness, you've got to understand that when your moment comes,
Why people aren't so happy for you?
come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Are you genuinely happy for other people's successes? 470-282-1802. You know what kind of celebrations we have? We have what some people would think are small celebrations, right? So one day, Robert and I in the hotel, we're on the road, and let's go to the lines. I'm gonna hold on to that. Hey, my love, you on with Monique and Sydney? Who's this and where you're calling from?
Oh my God! Oh my goodness! I love you. Oh my God! It was like so great that I didn't know I was getting in so quick.
Hi, baby. Talk to us.
Okay, so I watch you guys every week. Oh my God, I have to step away because I'm watching you guys now. I'm going to step into the bathroom. Okay, so I just wanted to say, when you're unhappy with yourself, how can you genuinely be happy for other people? You know, because I have like just like so much shit going on. You know what I mean? You know, when you're unhappy with yourself, how do you find it inside of your guys' hearts to still be happy for people? That makes sense. It probably doesn't.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
Sorry.
I mean, for us, and I think, because we talk about it a lot, for us, it's one of those things where when you understand that you're not owed anything and you're here really by the grace of the universe, if you will, you didn't do anything to be here per se, and you're here. So it's your job to make the most of your life. And if you make the choice not to live it and be happy, we can't expect others to somehow coerce us, compliment us, and or be affected by their happiness and want to take that in. So it's our job to do that. So that being the case, you feed off of other people's good news, great news, because you understand it's possible. But we normally take the negatives and we attribute that to, I believe that can happen for me because I've seen that happen to other people I know. But we've got to understand these things that sometimes we construe as negative, they are the components that when we fight through them and show the universe our intestinal fortitude, that's what we need in order to be successful when we get our opportunity. If that makes sense.
Can I ask one personal example for you guys?
Yeah.
If that's okay. Sydney and Monique, how do you celebrate people's happiness with, let's say, Netflix? You know what I mean? Like, even if it, you know what I mean? How do you celebrate that when you have been, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like stabbed in the back by them. So, like, how do you celebrate somebody's, even if it's, I mean,
as a female comedian, and then as a black female comedian, I know that journey. I know that road. I know the we don't think you're funny enough. I know the we think you're too dirty. I know those conversations and I know that journey. So I'm celebrating in my sister because I know the journey as a black female comedian, wherever her successes come. My journey with Netflix is going to be my journey with Netflix, but I don't penalize Tiffany because her journey is what her journey is. What I do hope for is that our sister Tiffany is treated with equality at a place called Netflix. That's what the hope is for. But I would be doing the universe and myself a disservice if I did not cheer for our sister because I know the plight of the black female comedian.
And if I may say, on top of that,
I'm sorry.
even with Netflix, Robbie Prawl, who we spoke to, and the individuals over at Netflix, I can't sit here and tell you that they are racist from a conscious standpoint. But the way in which they came across, the way they came across, it showed racial bias in our opinion. So I don't hold them accountable in the sense where you're angry. Listen, sometimes people have to have conversations, walk away and talk with real people. That's why we have this platform and we have these real conversations, because you never know. That's why we always say the mind's like a parachute. It's no good unless it's open. If you don't have the real conversations, the people can't have the real information. So hopefully individuals like yourself, platforms like this, individuals that listen may have a conversation and make people understand, listen, if you won't give someone who essentially in the game of comedy as a black female would be the equivalent of a Tom Brady in football based upon what she's done, it's like how if you celebrate someone who's acquired less in which you should celebrate them, what do you offer to someone who's been in the game longer and may have done more? And if you do less for that person, you're lowering the bar. So it's one of those things where if we keep having these conversations, possibly people will allow folks of color and women to get the bump up from being unfair to just start being fair.
Come on. We love you, baby.
Thank you so much, you guys. I watch you guys every week. Thank you so much for answering my calls, answering my questions. God bless you guys.
Bye, baby. I love the honesty of the questions.
Right.
Because those questions aren't unique. And we've been taught, we keep allowing ourselves to be taught to do it the way that the masses or someone else says to do it. But are you strong enough to stand and do it the way that you feel is the right way to do it? Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Oh, my name is JR. I'm calling from Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey, JR, talk to us, baby.
Oh, how y'all doing? I'm just surprised y'all answered the phone, really.
That's what everybody says.
Hey, that's what's up. Talk to us.
I was just wondering, how should we really be dealing with the whole situation? Because as many shows as I like on there, it's like there's a lot of people I don't like what they do and how they treat certain people that I love and I admire. So it's not like a loyalty thing.
I didn't hear the whole. I'm sorry.
If I'm understanding correctly, he's saying, what do we do because we want to support what you're saying, but there's so many people on there that we really like. So what do we do? Is that what I'm understanding you to say, baby?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's like you go with your heart, and you can still be with the cause while you might be supporting someone else. You have to go with your heart. At the end, the conversation, and this was done to be, listen, it's Netflix. If we went in there under the impression that people were all of a sudden going to shut down because we started this conversation, then, we are crazier than we already are. And we are. We admit it. However, it just was about this conversation that we're having today. And then when it's reiterated, when you hear about executives that work there having to be released for saying the word nigger in their conversations, you're like, oh, okay. So was this just by chance, or is there? So in our humble opinion, it allows us to have conversations in a reasonable fashion, but open and honestly about things, because there are people that are purposeful and they know they're being biased. But I believe there are a whole lot of people out there that have learned racism through watching, though it may not have been taught to them overtly. And if we have these conversations, we can be able to distinguish between the two, but most importantly, they can too. If that makes sense.
Yes, sir, it makes a lot of sense, and I admire what you guys are doing.
Thank you, baby. We love you, my buddy.
I love you too, and I can't wait to see you in another movie. You crack me up.
It's coming, baby. Bye, honey. This is why I believe this show is necessary. Because that was very honest. Mo, what do we do in this situation? We understand the cause, but there are some folks on there that we really love too. So what do we do? And like you say, you follow your heart. For me, we have to take a stand until something's different. And what happens oftentimes is, and if you look at our history, it comes out, well, we'll take care of one, which means we ain't got to take care of all. We don't have to make it fair across the board. So for me, and when people say, Monique, what are you doing? No, I do not have Netflix. No, I will not order Netflix. And there's some people that's on Netflix that I love their talent. But it's about principle for me to say, until you have equality, I can't stand for that. So I hope that answers people's questions when y'all say, Mo, so what's going on with Netflix? As they posted those salaries of Dave and Chris and Amy, continue to post the salaries. Continue to post them. Continue to let people know this is what we're doing. Be courageous enough to show it across the board. That's what they do in sports. You seem to know what those salaries are. Do it in entertainment. Do it across the board. Post the salaries. Stand by what you're doing.
They say repetition brings on retention. And if you repetitively see the difference between people of color salaries versus white people's salaries, and you start seeing the disparity between the two, maybe it'll start to sink in, because, again, a lot of people say, no, I don't believe it, because they don't have enough information to say yes. And we can see, even with this presidency, how overt things are, but they're still taking their time as if it is not that blatant. When you have someone that doesn't have and is not part of the right people, things are overdone.
Yes.
As it pertains to the penalties, where oftentimes there are no penalties for the right people, and at the very least they're underdone when it comes to what's imposed upon them, if that makes sense.
Come on, y'all, we're talking about it. Can you genuinely be happy for someone else's success? Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, sweetness, talk to us, baby.
How are you guys today?
Wonderful.
Oh man, I'm so happy to hear you guys. Every time I listen to y'all make me happy. Y'all remind me of like a couple that's so great that I would admire, like look up to for my marriage and counseling. And Mo, I've been following you for a long time. I love your comedy, just from day one, and I respect you. You know, I'm a man, but I give you high respect.
Thank you.
And, you know, I think, Mo, you should just keep going because like attracts like. And, you know, it always will be the universe and the people in it that will try to pull you back from what you really want to do and what you really want to accomplish. So I just applaud you to keep going. And if one person don't look up, it's always more, and it's always positive out there for you.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate that, baby.
Very much. Very much.
And, you know, I just thank you guys for just promoting all the greatness on Periscope, and just keep striving to be all you can be. And you know, your experience will speak for itself. And if nobody don't like it, you know, they could just move on, just like you did. Until it happened to them, then they will understand that with your experience you learned from, what you have to go through, not them.
Come on now.
We love you, brother.
Okay, take care.
You too, baby. That's why we keep pushing, we keep standing, we keep fighting. And with all of that, does that mean we can't be happy for our folks? Hell no, we gonna be happy for our folks. Because we're gonna keep pushing and keep standing and keep fighting. Come on. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who is this and where you calling from?
Hi, Auntie and Uncle and Auntie.
Hey, baby.
Excuse me, I just wanted to say that when it comes to Netflix, we had Netflix for 9 years. 9 years. And I loved a lot of shows on there. But the instant that you came on Instagram with that video and you said you want us to boycott, I picked the phone up and I canceled. I don't have to question my sisters and my brothers. I don't care what your reasoning is. If you tell me not to do it, I'm not going to do it. Because apparently I trust you enough to not do it because you know the reasons why. I don't have to know the reasons why. I think I told you before, I had my cousin had a girlfriend like that. We were in Delaware and I went to the store and they had changed the price on something that I wanted that I was getting every single other day, but it was new management. And they increased it by damn near $1 and change more. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy anything. And I had already told her, go ahead and get whatever you want. So she's bringing all the stuff to the counter. We were getting ready to just drink and have fun and eat and carry on. And so when I told her, she said, well, where's your stuff? I said, no, I'm good. I'm not going to buy anything in here. I'm done. They changed the prices. I'm not coming in here anymore. But you can go ahead and get what you want. She said, She said, put this stuff back. She said, if you're not getting anything, I'm not getting anything. I said, no, it's okay. She said, no, there are more stores. I'm going to side with you because you're my sister. Let's go.
Come on.
And I almost started crying. I was like, wow. And that day on, I learned, whenever my sisters and brothers tell me something, if they don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I don't care what the reasoning is. Excuse me. It doesn't make a difference to me. I trust you. I believe in you. I have faith in you. And I will support you. I have no problem. And when I canceled Netflix, the gentleman on the phone said, oh, well, Miss Wheeler, you've been with us for 9 years. Is there a reason why, is there anything that we can say to persuade? I said, no. You should have done better by Monique, and I wouldn't be leaving. Cancel me, please. Not only did I have the streaming, I had 3 DVDs coming to my house. I was paying down there $30 a month. So thank you for saving me $30 a month. You know, I just want to say one more thing. When it comes to racism, I'm doing a paper right now on Professor Jane Elliott, who did the blue-eye, brown-eye exercise. When after King was murdered, her class, she wanted to help her class, which was an all-white class in Wrightsville, Iowa, help them understand racism. She separated the class by the color of their eyes. She said, I watched these beautiful children turn into nasty, evil, malicious little bullies who were beating the other kids up and smacking them and stuff and treating them like crap. She said, I also watched 4 boys who were dyslexic, 2 of them who had brown eyes, who were now put ahead of the class because of their eyes, reading words I'd never heard before, and they didn't think they knew how to read. And the girl who was the most intelligent in the class forgot everything she learned. She said that's just how much racism can tear you down. And being put up can build you up.
Come on now.
So, you know, I just wanted to say, I'm in this fight for good. I'm in this fight forever. As long as you're fighting, I'm fighting. If, okay, came to me right now and said, I will buy all 5 of your children's books and buy them in triplet kits of 5,000 for each library across the world, I would say no, thank you. And so you'd be right. And so you do right by my sister. I cannot take that opportunity. I appreciate it, but no, thank you. Call Monique. That's what you can do for me. Monique. Call Uncle Sidney.
Go ahead, Daddy.
I love y'all.
We love you back. And I was just going to say to something you said earlier in reference to your sister said she was going to ride with you. And that right there made you understand you were going to ride with your brothers and sisters. And she was saying that moving forward was going to make her ride with her brothers and sisters. The difference is, though, her sister was right there and understood what she was going through.
Yes.
We as people don't want you just to ride with us blindly. We want you to question why it is that we're doing what it is that we're doing. Because once you believe what it is and you understand, then you are better equipped to deal with what we're trying to fight against, go against, stand up against. Because if you don't understand it and you just saying, I'm going to go along with it because Monique said, that's no better than the other side who says, I was always raised to hate niggas.
Wait a minute.
And that's what I did.
Wait a minute.
I never really had a problem with them. And what do you do?
Right.
You know, so.
I'm going to the lines, Daddy.
To do it.
Hey, this is Monique and Sid. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hi, Monique. How are you?
Wonderful, baby. How you doing?
Hi. I really have a lot of admiration for you. I really think that you're very, very talented. I've been watching you for a long time. I really think that you should be on TV all the time. I just have a question. I noticed that you're very now more humble. I noticed that since you've been married, your demeanor has changed. Has the marriage caused that change in you?
That's a great question.
Huh?
That's a great question. And
Okay.
I would have to say yes. And I won't put it on just the title of marriage. I'll put it on love. And the man that I'm married to, as y'all know, has been my best friend since the 10th grade.
Oh, okay.
And when you
Okay. Because I noticed, when you were single, you were like, a real independent black force woman. And, you held no prisoners type of demeanor about you, which I liked as well, because you took no prisoners, you took no bull, which I appreciate as well, because we have, a lot of women that don't stand up for themselves, and we need to see that type of women as well, because a lot of black women are told to shut up and sit in the corner. So I like that aspect in you too. And I was wondering, do you think, because of your husband, do you think that the people didn't want to work with you because they felt like we don't acknowledge him because he's not on our level, and because he's in the picture, we're kind of like looking at you side-eye because we don't acknowledge him, and so therefore we're going to, look at you a little bit different more than we would if it was just you? Did you ever think on that kind of?
Well, you're asking some great questions, and I'm going to try to answer them as best I can. When Sydney came on as my manager, and I had asked him some years prior, way before that, and he said, you know what, Mama, that's not what I do. Until we got together and he began to see the mistreatment, and he began to see the inequality, and he began to see that people that were representing me were not representing me with my best interests. So when he came on as manager and we became teammates in this business, people had a problem with answering questions. So when you go into those type of meetings and you have mainly all white executives sitting at those tables, and questions start being posed in reference to salaries and credits and titles And those aren't questions that's normally asked in those meetings, especially not by a black man. That can pose a problem. And when you do have people in the business, such as one of our icons and our sister named Whoopi Goldberg, who says to me, Monique, the problem is your husband. And this was in a meeting with just she and I had to say to her, well, my husband, along with our attorney, has negotiated the biggest deals I've ever had in my career. It's my husband, along with our attorney, that when those meetings are happening and they can't seem to answer the questions in reference to inequality about black women, I see why that could be a problem. So when people ask me, well, Monique, do you think it's your husband? Yeah, it's us, because we're not willing to waver on what we know is the right thing.
And
so they probably don't respect marriage, you think?
Well, I'm sorry, Daddy. I think what happens is when you look at a place called Hollywood, I don't know how well unities are respected, period. It's not a game of family. It's not a business of family and unity. It's a business of who's the sexiest, who's the prettiest, how do we market that, and we understand that. However, I'm not willing to waver because that's the rule that they put for them. That's not the rule that I'm going to have for me.
Well, I really respect seeing you guys married because it's not really seen in Hollywood in the love that you guys express. Wish that was happening a lot more. I just wish that Hollywood would respect it but if they did that, then their system would go tumbling down, and I think that's why they don't want to submit to that. So, but I guess your integrity is more important than, you guys giving up on what you guys got going. So I have admiration for that, but I just wish that, something would come for you guys because you deserve it. You have a lot of talent, and, I just hope something breaks for you because you deserve it, and you're a good person, and your spirit is very warm and it's deserving. So I just wanted to let you know that. I've been paying attention and watching, and I'm hoping that something's going to happen to, the stars are going to align and things are going to change. So I'm hoping the best for you. I love you guys, and I'm praying for everything to work out.
We love you back, baby.
we love you back. Thank you.
Bye, my love. That was sweetness.
Very sweet.
I remember, and I want to address something, and this is the one thing I love about our show. We can go where we want to go, right?
Let's go.
I remember doing an interview with a young lady. Well, she was in her 40s. I asked how she was. And she said to me, you're not scared having your husband with you. That's not going to make you appear weak. Right. It wasn't going to make me appear weak. That I need my husband with me. And I said, sister, look at how we've been trained and conditioned that for me to have my husband, it will make me appear weak. So when I hear our sister that called and said, Mo, it don't seem like you still the same whole no prisons. Is that because? Yes, that is because. Because when you do have a protector, when you do have a king, when you do have a nurturer, you then say, I don't have to be that anymore. I now can take my position and be comfortable in being I'm good at what I do.
But everyone knows that the queen is the one that orders their heads cut off. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. So what happens is, if she asks me to do something, because we're going to have a discussion, but as we have said, you're the one who built this career, not me. I'm going to suggest, imply, share with you what I think, but at the end, it's your decision, and we going back in the way in which you say. I can honestly say this young lady here is not the type of woman that just needs the sky blue M&Ms, for she likes all colors.
I used to.
Peanut, plain,
I don't
caramel.
Daddy, because the color.
No. I'm not saying that you eat them. I'm saying that you have been fond and you have expressed a fondness.
Yeah, I was a friend to it.
Yes. So that being the case, it's not like one is hard to get along with, but when you're in an environment where people are not used to being asked for what is fair, they didn't inform us that we were supposed to accept less than. They didn't give us the notice. So because of that, we didn't get, nobody invited us to know that we should be comfortable taking things and listening to things that don't make sense and not make a remark. Because when you're involved with selling and offering and buying a product, you've got to ask the right questions in order to make it happen. We understand that people wouldn't just give it to us, but when you're unable to explain it, that's typically where we come from, where you say, you know what, you got me, you made your point, let's do something together. But here, people get offended.
You asked me what?
And I can't answer you?
We're not trying to argue with you now, Sydney.
Well, what is it in my conversation that makes you think that I'm trying to argue with you?
Equality. God damn it.
How dare you?
Right. How dare you?
You want credits. Executive producer credits.
Oh, you're bringing up your awards?
Who gives a fuck about awards?
Academy?
Oh, goddamn.
That's where I got my kids' sneakers from.
Don't they know she's black?
And big.
Oh, shit, ain't your mama.
And her mouth is big. She talks a lot. She stands up for black people. She's a freedom fighter. That's what that nigger is.
And we're gonna have to get out the other niggers to calm her.
So, when that doesn't work, and we saying, but we not mad with you. We're just trying to have a conversation with you.
That's
and if it doesn't make sense, we'll go our own way. But if it does, can we work something out?
Can we? Let's take a call, baby.
Do it.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
I'm sorry, Auntie and Uncle. I had to call back.
Come on back. Come
My
on.
uncle was trying to talk to me. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. This is Israel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Baby, we know.
I just kept it going with what I was going to say to you because I knew you was going to be right there in on it. But just wrapping it up, you had basically said that your sister had taught you in that moment when she was with you that she was going to always ride with you. And I was just making the distinction that your sister was right there with you. She saw what happened and she understood your plight. Oftentimes, we still, even though we love our brothers and sisters, it is a good thing to question what it is that they're doing so that when you get the answer and it's the same as theirs, you know you're fighting for right, not just fighting because that's your people. And we gotta...
Uncle, I don't agree with that, though.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
The thing that we marvel at is the fact that if we see a Spanish person fighting somebody in the street, every damn Spanish person in the neighborhood is going to come running in and help that person because that's their people. They don't care if they're right or wrong. They don't. It's still my people. I think we should stand together regardless of whether
Please understand
Oh.
that what you're saying in that dynamic, I get it.
Yes.
And what I'm speaking about is a dynamic of when you have a moment to ask them, because part of loving somebody is to question them enough to understand what it is that they're going through and not just blindly take what it is that they say, because we're trying to direct one another on a path that's right. And our loyalty, if it's embedded in what is right, again, when we have a moment to question what is right, it should be to that, despite the fact that somebody else's choices may be, I'ma just go because that's my homie. Because if we really want to do the right thing for our homie or our friends or our people that we love, we've got to digest what it is that they've said and share with them, listen, I don't agree, but I'm going to stand with you. Or, hey, listen, that ain't the right thing to do. Or I fully agree with you, but you took it in. If you stand on the side that's right, it's difficult to be wrong. Again, under the circumstances where you have a moment to make a decision.
Okay, I understand. You know, Uncle.
And you know I'm hugging you through the phone.
It always brings me back around. Don't you hate that sometimes, Auntie? You
Israel, let me tell you something, okay? When you said I disagree, I just said, my little voice said, okay, because I've said it too, baby. I said, no. I can remember just on a personal note, listen, I got into it with somebody, okay? And I was wrong, baby, with 2 left goddamn shoes. And I wanted Sid to be on my side. I said, Daddy, I need you to be on my side. He said, listen, what I am is on the side of right. And right has been around far longer than you have, and I won't waver for it. Now, what I won't do is let nobody jump. We ain't doing all of that. But I'm letting you know that's the wrong move. So what I've grown to appreciate and love is that I'm being loved in a way that I'm being loved for what stands for right. Not being loved because I just got your back. Well, you just having my back could get your ass blown away. And now I got to explain to your family, I fucked these people over, but your boy had my back and he went in and he got caught. I can't explain that because it's wrong. So I'd rather be with the people that says, Monique, listen, that was wrong. And let me tell you why it was wrong. Nah, bitch, we ain't dropping you off, but it's still wrong. And you got to make it right. That for me allows me, Israel, to grow in ways that I never thought I was capable of growing. So when I hear you take a breath and go, okay, Uncle, listen, I have those moments, so I understand, baby.
But here's what's beautiful. This is what you guys prove all the time. If you don't have the conversation with you to bring you around, it's wasted silence on somebody that all you had to do was have the conversation and you brought them around. Don't waste our silence. People always talk about don't waste your words on that nigga, because don't waste your silence on somebody that can receive your words. And sometimes we got to make the attempt to see if they can receive it. If not, you're not mad at them, because we get things in our own time. The only time it becomes a problem if we can't allow someone to not accept what we're saying at that time. Now we gotta force it on. No, that's where you are.
And see, this is why I tune in every week. I break my neck. I was literally in the bedroom talking to Peaches. I was, oh my God, it's time. And she said, don't worry, you're gonna hurt yourself. I said, I don't care, I'll be all right. Because I need this.
Me too.
This is my therapy every single week. I need this. Because you've been back reading all of the stuff about racism from my school. I have a lot of white friends. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? But I have to, you bring me back around every time. And I want to say one thing about the young woman who just called up. There is nothing weak about you now. No one has it ever been. If anything, the unity with Uncle has made you even stronger and on a different level of strength. As far as you working, you have not stopped working. You've been selling out venues across the nation. Maybe you're not on TV right now, and that's a whole other venue. But you are still working and selling out everywhere you go. You are still relevant and always will be.
That's why we love you, Israel, because you are our walking goddamn marketing machine.
Come on now.
Hug Peaches for us, baby.
We love you.
Okay, love y'all.
All right, honey, bye-bye. That's why, again, it's needed.
Baby, look like, is it that time?
You know, it is simply having the conversation.
That's all.
And I appreciate when we are strong enough to say, I disagree. And then it's like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Because I can still be challenged with, if I don't agree, it's like,
But she demonstrated the realest form of a gangster.
come on.
Where I came up, gangsters weren't the cat that thought they knew everything amongst their friends. Gangsters was the cats that when their man pull them up, you their man because you are able to pull them up. You not their little, trick.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
man. Let me pull you up. And when you pulled them up, they was like good looking.
Yes.
When we get strong enough to be able to take things like that on the chin from somebody that you believe, now if it's somebody that you don't know, you don't believe, I still say listen to what it is that they said and go invest it and see, is that something that's real? If it's not, no problem. If it is, make the correction. It's not heavy. We just make it heavy because we trying to be perfect.
And that ain't we ain't. And that ain't we ain't.
And that ain't we ain't.
You know, somebody just said, Mo, please make a movie about your life. Y'all, I still got a lot more, I hope. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
We couldn't do it because it'd be to continue. So we hope we have a lot more to go. And we want to thank y'all, babies, because it is that time for tuning in today. And really think about it. Are you going to be happy for other people's successes? Because you want to be happy for yours, right? So thank y'all, my babies, because y'all could have been listening and doing anything else instead of being right here with us. So share this video, share it with 10 friends and 10 more friends, because I honestly believe, in my humble opinion, it's saving lives. I know it's saving mine.
And Israel Samore said, hi, I love you, Auntie Robin.
We love y'all, my babies. And like my daddy always says, the mind is like a parachute.
It is no good unless it's open.
We love y'all.
For free.
Uh-oh. Okay. I done took them down.
Oh, yeah.
Love you, sweetness, sis.
All right, then.
Now, I don't know how to do it. Oh.